Welcome back, dreadful family. Tonight's story is not for the faint of heart. So turn off your lights, because what I'm about to tell you is the terrifying experience of an Uber driver, one who picked up the wrong passenger. The rain came early that night. Not the soft, forgiving kind, but a cold, relentless downpour that felt like punishment. It hammered the windshield in rhythmic bursts, washing away the neon reflections of the city until everything outside looked drowned and colorless. I had been driving for hours. The app had gone quiet. Most people were home by now, warm, dry, asleep. But the night doesn't sleep for people like me. It waits. It tests. When the ping finally came through, it startled me. A new ride. Pickup. Harper's Bridge. My stomach tightened. Harper's Bridge sat on the edge of town. No streetlights, just a cracked road curving over the black river that cut through the woods. Locals whispered about it. They said you could still hear screams when the fog was thick. I never believed in things like that, but belief isn't armor. The rain grew heavier as I turned down the old road. The wipers struggled to keep up. My headlights carved narrow tunnels through the mist, revealing only fragments of the world. A tree trunk, a shattered road sign, a glint of water. And then I saw her. She stood dead center on the bridge. Still, like she had been waiting there all along. Long black coat clinging to her frame, hair soaked, plastered against her face, her head tilted slightly down, one arm hanging by her side, the other clutching what looked like a small purse. I slowed to a stop a few feet away. My heart thudded once, heavy and hollow. She didn't move, didn't even flinch when the headlights hit her. I rolled the window down an inch, rain spraying inside. "Hey," I called out, my voice shaky. "Did you call for an Uber?" Her head lifted just enough for me to see her face, pale, empty. Her eyes looked lost, as if they'd forgotten where to focus. "Yes," she said softly. "Please, just drive." Something about her voice made me shiver. It didn't rise or fall. It just existed like a recording played back through a dream. I unlocked the doors. She slipped inside quietly, closing it behind her with a slow click. The smell of rain filled the car, metallic and cold. She didn't speak again. Didn't even give me a destination. Her phone stayed dark in her lap. I started driving anyway. The bridge disappeared behind us, swallowed by fog. The GPS flickered, glitched, then froze. A red dot pulsed endlessly on the screen. I tried to laugh it off. Guess the signal's trash out here. No response. I glanced at her in the rearview mirror. She was staring out the window, eyes tracing the raindrops as they slid down the glass. Her lips moved, whispering something I couldn't hear. "You okay back there?" I asked. She didn't answer. Just pressed her hand to the window, fingers trembling. The silence grew heavy. The kind that bends sound around it until even your own breath feels intrusive. After a few minutes, she finally spoke. "Do you believe in ghosts?" Her voice startled me so much I nearly swerved. I don't know," I said, half laughing. "Why?" She smiled faintly, though I could only see it in the mirror. "Because some people don't know they've died." A chill ran down my spine. Her words hung in the air long after she stopped speaking. The rain grew louder, almost angry. The road seemed narrower now, trees pressing close, branches scraping the sides of the car. My phone buzzed suddenly, making me jump. It was a notification from the Uber app. Rider picked up, Harper's Bridge. Only, it showed a timestamp. October 11th, 1985. The date glitched, blinked, then vanished. I swallowed hard, my mouth dry. Probably just a system error. But when I checked the mirror again, she wasn't looking out the window anymore. She was looking directly at me. Her eyes were dark, almost black in the low light, and there was something like disappointment in them. "You shouldn't have come this way," she whispered. I gripped the wheel tighter. "What do you mean?" No reply. She turned her gaze back to the window as if the conversation had never happened. The GPS restarted suddenly, displaying a new route. A single line cutting through the woods, ending somewhere deep beyond the highway. No street name, no address. just a blinking red point. I hesitated. "Is that where you're headed?" She nodded once, slow and deliberate. Something inside me said, "Turn around." But the rain, the darkness, the silence, it all felt like a current, pulling me forward no matter how hard I resisted. The car's interior lights flickered. For a second, I thought I saw another reflection in the mirror, someone sitting beside her. But when I blinked, it was gone. She started humming softly, a tune I didn't recognize, old and slow, like a lullaby played backward. I realized then that the air inside the car had grown colder. My breath fogged the glass, and the smell, no longer just rain. There was something else beneath it. Rot. I cracked the window for air, but the rain was relentless, punishing. Her voice broke the quiet again. "They always forget me." I turned slightly. "Forget you?" She nodded, eyes unfocused. "Everyone who crosses the bridge forgets. That's why they keep coming back." I didn't know what to say, so I said nothing. The road stretched endlessly ahead. No signs, no lights. Only rain, trees, and that distant red glow on my GPS. When I looked up again, she was crying, silent tears that rolled down her cheeks, mixing with the rainwater on her skin. "Are you okay?" I asked, softer this time. She smiled again, a faint, tragic curve of the lips. "Do you ever feel like you're driving in circles? Like the road never ends?" Before I could answer, the car hit something, a sharp thud that jolted the seatbelt against my chest. I slammed the brakes. The tires screamed, the car fishtailed, and we stopped in the middle of the road. Heart pounding, I turned to check on her, but the back seat was empty. The door was still locked. The seat was soaked, and where she'd been sitting lay a small silver locket, glinting faintly in the dashboard light. I picked it up, my hands shaking. It was cold, too cold. Inside was a faded photograph of the same woman, standing on Harper's Bridge. A date etched beneath it, October 11th, 1985. Tonight. I don't remember breathing for a while, just the sound of the rain and my heartbeat tangled together, both too fast, both too loud. I stared at the photograph again. The woman in the picture was younger, but the face was the same. The same sad eyes, the same faint smile that didn't reach them. I turned the locket over. The metal was scratched, the hinges rusted. On the back, faintly carved letters spelled a name. Evelyn. I said it aloud without meaning to. The name seemed to change the air in the car. The engine sputtered. The headlights flickered once, twice, and then steadied. Outside, the rain had become mist. It clung to the windshield like a veil, thick and shimmering, blurring everything beyond a few feet. I thought about driving back, turning around, calling it a night, pretending none of this ever happened. But my hands wouldn't move. My foot stayed pressed to the brake, trembling. Then faintly I heard it. Someone crying. It wasn't coming from outside. It wasn't even from the back seat. It was coming from the radio. Static hissed softly, and beneath it a woman's sobs, broken, distant like a recording buried under noise. I reached for the knob and froze. The radio had been off the entire time. My reflection in the windshield looked pale and ghostly under the dim dashboard glow. I whispered to myself, "This isn't real." But the voice on the radio shifted, the crying softening into words. "Please, okay, I didn't mean to fall." My heart lurched. It sounded like her. Evelyn. Then the radio went dead. I sat there for what felt like minutes, rain drumming a low rhythm on the roof. Finally, I forced myself to move, to drive forward, toward the only direction that existed anymore. The GPS still showed the red dot ahead, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. As I drove, the woods grew darker, closing in from both sides. The trees looked wrong, too tall, too dense, bending slightly toward the road as if they were listening. The fog thickened until I couldn't tell where the ground ended and the air began. I should have been terrified, but a strange calm settled over me instead, like I was being led somewhere I was meant to go all along. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. Time didn't feel right anymore. The rain began to ease, tapering into a slow drizzle. My headlights cut through the mist and revealed something in the distance. A figure, standing in the middle of the road. I slowed down, squinting through the rain-smeared glass. It was her. Evelyn. The same coat, the same hair plastered to her face. She was standing exactly the way she had on the bridge. I stopped the car about 20 feet away. The wipers screeched back and forth, useless against the fog. For a long moment, she didn't move. Then she began walking toward me. Slow, unhurried. Her bare feet left faint dark prints on the wet asphalt. My body screamed to reverse, to flee, to do something. But all I could do was watch. She stopped at my window. Rain ran down her cheeks like tears. Up close I could see her eyes. Hollow, depthless, reflecting only darkness. She leaned down, just enough for her face to be inches from mine through the glass. Her lips moved soundlessly at first, then formed a single word. Help. I don't know what possessed me to do it, but I unlocked the door. The click echoed louder than thunder. She opened it slowly, climbed in, and shut it again without a sound. Her seatbelt clicked, her hands folded neatly in her lap. I thought you left, I whispered. She looked straight ahead. You didn't finish the ride? I stared at the dashboard. The GPS was moving again, same direction, same red dot, but the route line was gone. Just the arrow, floating in empty gray space. We drove in silence. The only sound was the tires slicing through puddles. I wanted to ask her questions, who she was, where she was going, but the words stuck in my throat. It felt wrong to speak, like the air inside the car wasn't mine anymore. Eventually, she broke the silence. Do you know what happens when someone dies angry? Her voice was calm, but there was something sharp underneath. I didn't answer. They stay, she said softly. They find the road they died on, and they wait until someone takes them home. I swallowed hard. Is that what you're doing? Her lips curved slightly. I thought I was, but I can't find home anymore. We drove past a sign then, old, wooden, half-rotted. The paint had peeled away, but I could just make out the words. Harper's Bridge, 2 miles. My breath caught in my throat. I had been driving away from the bridge for nearly an hour. I looked down at the dashboard clock. 2:37 a.m. The same time it had frozen at earlier. When I looked back at the road, something was wrong. The landscape outside had changed. The trees were gone, replaced by rows of old telephone poles leaning over empty fields. In the distance, faint lights shimmered, like reflections on water. I realized we were approaching the river again. Evelyn turned her head toward me, and for the first time I saw something almost human in her eyes. Not anger, not sadness. Guilt. I didn't mean to fall, she whispered. He pushed me. The words hit me like ice. I turned sharply. What did you say? But she was already looking out the window again. Through the fog, I could see the bridge ahead, its outline faint, ghostly, rising from the mist like the ribs of a skeleton. The same bridge, the same rain, the same night. And I was driving straight toward it. I slammed the brakes, heart pounding, the car skidding sideways until it stopped just short of the guardrail. When I turned to her seat, it was empty again. The door hadn't opened. The lock was still down. Only the locket remained, resting in the center of the seat. Rain dripped from the roof onto the floor mats, cold and steady. I sat there for what felt like forever, staring at that small piece of silver, the photo of a woman who should have been nothing more than a story. Then I noticed the reflection in the rear-view mirror. Someone sitting in the back seat. Evelyn. Her head tilted forward, hair falling like a curtain, whispering words I couldn't understand. The temperature dropped instantly. My breath fogged the glass. When I turned to look, she was gone again, but her voice lingered. Take me home. I didn't remember starting the car again. 1 second I was staring into the fog. The next, the engine was humming softly beneath my hands. The world outside looked unfamiliar. The bridge was gone. The river, the trees, gone. Only a narrow road stretched ahead, glistening like black glass under the rain. I drove without thinking, the locket resting on the dashboard. It clicked faintly every time the car hit a bump, as if reminding me that it was still there, still waiting. The rain had quieted into a steady drizzle, the kind that muffles sound until even your heartbeat feels distant. I don't know how long I drove like that. Minutes, maybe hours. The road never changed. It curved and wound through fog that seemed to move with me, swallowing whatever was behind. At some point, I noticed something strange. The same tree appeared on my right, a crooked oak with a hollow trunk. Then again 2 minutes later. Then again. The realization sank in like a cold hand around my throat. I wasn't getting anywhere. I was driving in circles. I stopped the car and let the engine idle. The GPS screen was black now. Only a faint reflection stared back, my own pale face framed by shadows. A flash of lightning lit up the sky. In that split second, I saw something in the mirror. Evelyn, sitting in the back seat again. Her face was clearer this time. No more blur, no distortion, just exhaustion, sadness, regret. She met my eyes through the mirror. "Do you remember me?" she asked softly. My throat went dry. "I don't." Her lips trembled. "You do. You just buried it." I turned in my seat, heart hammering. "Who are you?" She tilted her head. "You used to drive me home, every Friday, from the diner near the bridge. You said the rain made the roads look like mirrors." The words cut through me. Because I did remember that diner, Evelyn's place. A rundown spot that closed years ago after a woman had gone missing. But that was just a story. A rumor drivers told each other on slow nights. "You were there," she continued, voice breaking. "The night I died." My hands tightened around the steering wheel. "That's not possible." Her reflection smiled faintly in the glass. "Do you believe in ghosts now?" The lights flickered again. The car engine sputtered. And suddenly, I wasn't in the driver's seat anymore. The car was parked by the riverbank. Fog rolled off the water in pale ribbons. The bridge loomed just ahead, its old guardrails twisted and broken. Rain fell softly now, a whisper instead of a storm. Evelyn stood outside the car, barefoot on the wet asphalt. Her coat hung loosely from her shoulders, and her hair gleamed under the pale moonlight. I stepped out slowly, the locket still clutched in my hand. My voice barely came out. "What do you want from me?" She turned toward me, tears mixing with rain. "I want the truth." The fog thinned for a moment, revealing the bridge more clearly, and a crushed metal barrier. A car submerged halfway into the river below. My chest tightened. The shape looked familiar. No. I stumbled closer to the edge. The wind carried the smell of rust and river water. Through the rippling surface, I could see the car clearly now. Dark paint, shattered windshield, the faint glint of a rideshare sticker on the bumper. My car. Inside, through the water, was a reflection that shouldn't have existed. Someone sitting behind the wheel. Someone with my face. I fell to my knees, the cold seeping through my jeans, the rain now a deafening roar. Evelyn knelt beside me, her expression softening. "You tried to save me that night," she whispered. "We went off the bridge. You didn't make it out either." I shook my head violently. "No, I'm here. I've been driving all night." Her hand touched my arm, icy and fragile. "You've been driving for 40 years?" The words shattered the world around me. The rain stopped midair. The fog froze. Even the river below went still, glassy and silent. She leaned closer, her eyes glistening. "Now you remember." The locket slipped from my hand, landing softly on the ground. It opened on impact. The photo inside had changed. It wasn't her anymore. It was me. Standing on Harper's Bridge. Lightning split the sky, blinding white. And when it faded, she was gone. Only the sound of distant water remained. I turned back toward the car, but it wasn't there anymore. No headlights, no engine, just the bridge, endless and empty. I walked to the center, the rain beginning again. Soft, steady, eternal. The world around me felt weightless, dreamlike. I looked down at my reflection in the river. It looked back, smiling faintly, and I understood then. The bridge wasn't haunted. It was waiting for those who never left it. The rain poured harder, washing away the last of the fog. Somewhere in the distance, I heard the faint chime of a phone notification. New ride request, Harper's Bridge. The screen on my dash flickered to life one last time. Driver, unknown. Passenger, Evelyn. Status, completed. I closed my eyes. The rain fell heavier, and the road ahead disappeared into black.